Hey everyone, this is Ashley Techie Ellenboss with Skyhouse Herb School and Apothecary. And today I want to talk about how to not go crazy because the world is crazy. I just want to say that like straight up. But you are not crazy. This is the thing. This is the really important and really tricky thing is that we feel like because we're living in this world, that somehow we need to change to fit the world. And that can make us feel like we're going crazy because the world is not set up in a way, I think, to bring us happiness, a sense of deep fulfillment, inner peace, right? So here it is, right? Like you are not crazy. The world is crazy. I hope that makes you feel a little better. I know for me, when I was up at like 1 a.m., not being able to sleep. And I was just thinking to myself, you know, what is going on? What is going on in the world? And I was like, everyone has this sweet little center. You've got one. You've got this little impenetrable center in your soul. It is your soul. And it cannot be shaken. It cannot be broken down, perturbed. It is solid. And that is the space that our culture should be supporting. But instead, our culture does this weird thing where we get pulled outside of ourselves and outside of our center, and we get sold this junk information that we need all these things to be happy, that we've got to do all these things to be happy. And most of us are not happy. Most of us feel like we might be losing our marbles a little bit trying to attain this happiness in a world that's so broken. And, ancient yoga has a lot to say about this. So, you go into the Vedas, you learn about Kali Yuga, which is the age of destruction or the age of corruption, as it's often called. Like you'll start to see like this world, this is not the same world as 5,000 years ago. It's just not. It's a completely different world. It's the same earth, but the world, which is a more kind of a cultural creation, is not the same. And so we've got these ancient, timeless, really, souls that know exactly what we need, right? Like you know what you need and you know how to get it, right? But the world says, no, 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 that's not what you need. Here's what you need. And I'm going to sell it to you like this. Or, oh, that's not the way you get what you need. Let me come over here and buy this thing. Right. And so we get so off center because our own inner compass is constantly being bombarded with people that don't really care about people. It's people that care about the bottom line. They care about money and power and prestige and they don't care about us. And that's maddening. So what do we do? What do we do to not go crazy? So I have 3 ideas that I wanted to share with you today. The first one is make sure you spend time away from people. Right? Okay. Yeah. And I'm not saying like, ditch your family and, move into the mountains, but I am saying take some time, go away from people, go into the woods, find a local park and talk to things other than people. Talk to rocks, talk to trees, talk to the plants, talk to the birds. Hey, squirrel, how are you today? Let me just watch you and see what you have to say about the world we live in, because the language that we humans speak in itself is not even that effective, right? So things are communicating all the time. A lot of it is not verbal. So if you just can get yourself into the woods, get yourself away, right? And just start to listen to all of the other tips and cues and clues that the natural world, which is mostly retained its center, has to say. And I know for me, if I can do that, I can drop right back into that steady place and be like, What I need is so simple. I just need some love. I just need to have a purpose, a place to give my energy, right? I just need some clean water and a good salad, right? Like it's very simple. But when we're bombarded by all this stuff and all these people yapping in our ears, we can't find it. We can't find it. So we got to go by ourselves and go into nature and get quiet. And if you're the writing type, perfect. Write a little thing down. Give yourself some notes. Write a little 1, 2, 3. Here's what I have to do to stay in my center. Number one, number two, number three. Make it simple for yourself, okay? All right. The second thing is social media. Okay, now if you really want to go crazy, spend a lot of time scrolling through social media because there's a lot of junk on social media. There's a lot of things that people are posting, not because they care about you, not because they're trying to help you, but because a few things. Either they want to sell you on something that they have, and it might not even be a product. It might just be this vibe, right? Like, let me sell you on this beachy, cool vibe I have, right? Like, they're still trying to sell you. They're still trying to get you to buy something or buy into something. And that takes you out of your center. They also might be literally trying to sell you something like, this perfect headband, or I don't know, like just all these things, right? So here's what I like to do when I scroll through social media. I've been practicing this is I'll just look and I'll be like, what are you about? And I'll really, really study not what they say and not like the polished backdrop that they have, but I'll look at their eyes and I'll be like, what are you about? Really? Really? What are you about? And if I look, I can say, they're just a little soul. Look at that cute little bunny. Pat, pat, pat. Look at that cute little bunny. She's trying to find her way. She's trying to find her way back to that center. She's gotten lost. She's gotten wrapped up in all this other stuff. And I'll pray. I'll say my prayers and I'll let it be. And I'm not going to buy into it. I'm not going to compete with it. I'm not going to buy into it. I'm just going to let her be a cute little bunny trying to find her way home. And then, I also follow really wise people. I follow people that are way more elevated than I am in their consciousness. So when I scroll through and I see them, I look at them and I say, whoa, look at them doing their soul work. Look at them sharing something really good and trying their best to be humble, even though it's hard because the ego doesn't want to be so humble when we're trying to share something that we think is important. But look at them, they're doing it. They're doing it. Let me put a little heart there. Let me say thank you. Let me shine some light back to that goodness that they're showing. And then I can close it down and walk away and go to the woods or do something that is good for my family, good for my heart, and good for my service in the world. All right, third thing, you got to eat a plant-based diet. I'm really sorry to say that. I know you might be listening and you might hate that I just said that, but I'm serious. Like for your consciousness to not get all wrapped up with the consciousness of killing and greed and taking more than we need and destroying the planet, we really got to switch our diet to eating mostly plants. And I became a vegetarian at the age of, I guess, 12, and I was a vegetarian all the way until I was 33. That was a long time. And then for whatever reason, I just started craving meat. And I guess I needed something. I don't know. I ate meat for maybe about like 3 or 4 years, which was just, I couldn't even believe it. But my consciousness changed. My body smell changed. Um, I was more desirous of things outside of me and more competitive. And I could feel it. I was like, this is because I'm eating animals. Like this is a different state of consciousness. So however you want to do it. I'm not, like I'm just saying that really worked for me. It probably will work for you, but when you're ready, you do that when you can, how you can. I can't tell you how. I can't walk you to that place, but I can at least guide you and say this too, that a plant-based diet includes herbs. So you're not just going to get everything you need just from the foods, which you can get a lot, but the plants can give you something else. You know, the medicinal plants are full of all of these alkaloids, which are chemicals that change your nervous system, their central nervous system, either stimulants or depressants. And these alkaloids also just change our brain chemistry and how we think and how we work. And so alkaloids are pretty, you know, they're in some foods like bitters, like some of our bitter foods like dandelion greens have some alkaloids, but mostly these are herbs that have an effect on our nervous system and on our mood. So here's a few herbs I just wanted to throw out there that I think are really helpful, and I'll tell you why. The first one is burdock root. Burdock is a root and it's a tap root. And when I'm feeling really off center, I'll just make myself a big decoction or like basically a soup. Like I'll cook down some burdock root and take it. So you can use maybe like 2 tablespoons of dried burdock root and a few cups of water, simmer it for 15 to 20 minutes, strain it and drink it. It's sweet, it's oily, it's satisfying, it's very, very grounding. It'll get you back in your feet. The other one is nettles, super green. I talk about nettles all the time. I mean, it is one of the best herbs out there because it's so nutritive. And a lot of us are very mineral deficient. And so we feel ungrounded. We feel a little hoo-hoo because we're not in our bodies, we're not on the earth, and our bodies are seeking things. And this is kind of a crazy thing is that when we start to like seek out different things, sometimes it's as simple as our body doesn't have the nutrients. And so we like are snacking on all these foods, we're shoving these things in our mouths. You know, most of the things in the grocery store are they're food products. They're food-like products, but they're not actually food. Pretty much all the food in the grocery store is on the edges. It's fresh. It's the produce, right? It's the things that came from Mother Nature exactly how Mother Nature created them. So that's the food. The other food-like products are packaged, they've got long shelf lives, they live in the middle of the grocery stores. So and they're usually very nutrient deficient. So if we're like seeking, if we just feel like desirous and we're craving things all the time, it could be that what we're eating is causing more of that. Again, this is the point to the plant-based diet that might be helpful in getting your mind more sattvic or more clear and pure. All the yoga traditions teach this. There are no yoga traditions that don't teach this, right? So this is like numero uno. Stop the karma of killing by eating a plant-based diet, and you're also going to get a lot more nutrients that way. But nettles will step in case you're still not getting enough. And if you're still feeling like, you know, like one of my friends was like, I want to eat soil, like I feel like I want to eat dirt. I'm like, ooh, you need minerals. Drink your nettles every day for a few weeks. See if that helps. If not, you might be iron deficient and you might need to take an iron supplement like Floridix is a liquid plant-based iron supplement I really like. So nettles. And then the other one are herbs too, as one of my friends would say, CTFO or chill the F out. And these are herbs that will relax your central nervous system to get you out of the buzzy head space that can make you feel crazy and ungrounded. Here are my top ones: kava, blue vervain, skullcap, and mimosa. So all of these would do really well as tinctures. That would be my recommendation. Tincture is an alcohol-based extraction. The alcohol is not enough to make you feel the alcohol. It's just enough to preserve the plant material. So kava is a really good herb that gets you in your heart. It relaxes the mind from overthinking. It helps you to speak your truth clearly and in a grounded way, and it relaxes muscular tension. Blue vervain is a wonderful herb for neck tension, for that feeling like you have to do more, that you're not perfect enough, you need to be better, coulda, woulda, shoulda, as my great grandmother would say. So just, take like 5 drops of blue vervain and just feel your body start to chill out, feel your mind chill out, feel that edge come off. With kava, same thing, 5 to 10 drops, especially if you have trouble sleeping, maybe double dose that, right? And try these plants out. Skullcap. It's a brain herb, and it's really, really good for calming the mind from overthinking, especially when your mind is kind of all over. If you've got 20 plates up in the air in your head, skullcap will wash them off and put them back in the cabinet. And then you can pull out one plate, put your food on it, sit down and have a meal and not be freaking out. Okay. So skull cap, you can do a little higher dosage here, maybe 20 drops, 30 drops. You can do up to maybe like even 2 to 3 droppers full and a pinch if you really need some help there. And then mimosa is called the happiness tree. This is a Chinese herb, and it's a wonderful herb for decreasing anxiety and decreasing depression at the same time. And I really feel like it's like a big hug. I feel like it gives you, it cheers you up. It cheers up the depressed spirit while at the same time quieting the mind. And so, it's, you can take this one. I like to use the root, sorry, I like to use the bark and the flowers together in a tincture. And Planetary Formulas, they make a really nice root and flower, no, bark. I keep saying root, but I mean bark. Mimosa bark and flower tincture mixed together. And that's the ideal, because the root is grounding. I keep saying the root. The bark is grounding and the flower is uplifting. So you've got grounding and uplifting in the same medicine. And that's a really, really good one. You can take a full dropper full or even up to 2 droppers full, maybe 2 to 3 times a day. It tastes delicious and it's a really lovely plant. So that's what I got for today. How to not go crazy. Go into the woods. Put some new lenses on your social media feed and really look at it. Like, be really mindful. And then eat more plants. All right. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you do to retain your sanity. Any plants that help or other ideas that you have up your sleeve to share. And I'm going to be moving this week. Well, we've been moving for the last few weeks. So we're going to be continuing to move. So stay tuned. And yeah, send me some fairy vibes as I get ready to transition into our new house and into our new space. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see y'all later.